Can we have some transparency? The video that follows in the woods today was not the best of videos. I have a couple of blunders. One, I hit the camera with a backswing of the axe and shoots the camera straight up in the air. The other thing is the tree falls in the opposite direction of the way I was planning for it to fall. I hope that I can always just be honest and say sometimes things don't go according to plan. And that's okay. One thing that you'll never see on this channel is this tree fell through a house, or this tree took out power lines, or some kind of catastrophe. Those kinds of videos get a lot of views, but I'm never confident enough in my skill set to ever fall a tree around anything that could potentially endanger someone else or myself. So we're out in the woods, we're cutting down trees, and we usually find ourselves in a pretty safe situation. So even when things don't go according to plan, there's nothing disastrous that comes from as a result. And today's no different. As you're going to see if you hang around, the tree doesn't go the way I want it to. Still ends up on the ground. Nobody gets hurt. Nothing like that happens. Now, that's not to say you don't have to be careful. That's not to say there's not dangers in falling. But I just want you to know that as I cut trees, it's always a learning process for me. I'm learning, and I believe that you can learn from times where things go right and also when things don't go right. And this is going to be an example when things don't go right. Actually, I recorded a section out in the woods, but when I played it back, I had stuff all over my face, just looked ridiculous. And so now I'm doing this because of that. So I had 3 strikes on that video, but I'm still going to put it out because, as I said, this is a learning process. And you learn by things you do right. You learn by things that you do wrong. Hopefully next time, I'll try maybe a different notching technique and see if it makes a difference. In this video, I'm going to cut down a sassafras tree, and you may or may not have ever been out in the woods and noticed a sassafras tree, but typically they have all kinds of twists and turns in them. And this one was no different. It had a heavy lean in the back. I was cutting it the opposite direction downhill, assuming that the weight of gravity going down the hill would overcome the lean to the back. It didn't. So I'll have to plan for that the next time. But I still think there's things that you can learn from this video. And again, I'm not going to put a video out because it doesn't make me look good. I hope to be honest enough to say, hey, make mistakes all the time. If you were with me all the time, you'd see a lot more mistakes. But I hope you enjoy the video. I appreciate you watching. And if you do have any questions, just put them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them if you have any questions. And enjoy the video. Welcome back to another adventure in the woods. And we are here to cut down another tree today. And this is kind of a tree maybe you don't see that often. It's a sassafras tree. And we got a heavy set this towards me, the direction I'm standing, a heavy lean back that direction, but we're on a hillside going that direction. So my goal in dropping this tree is to send it right there. There's an open clearing for me to land it. That is, if everything goes well. What's going to be the key for me to keep it straight and to get it to go where I want to go is, again, making sure that my sides stay in place and I get a good clean front cut in, and make sure that I don't give too much to push it this direction. So I want to undercut here and work my way back, bring in my back cut all the while keeping my side straight. Now, because the camera is set up the way that it is, I really couldn't set it back there in a way that was really effective. So for a lot of this, I'm going to have to swing opposite-handed, which is going to look awkward because I'm right-handed, but I'm going to be swinging left-handed. So we'll give it a shot here, see how good we can do. Okay, this isn't any fun at all. Definitely working on my weaknesses today. I think I can get a little bit of a dominant hand swing if I go here. So things are going well to this point. We have a little deeper on our notch here than we are this side. Now it's time to clean that out just a touch here.
Definitely like swinging from the right side better. That's for sure. Left-handed swing is tough. Okay, so got a decent front notch going for us. Try to keep always talk about keeping this clean going as you cut. If you just keep cutting into it and you don't clean up the bottom, then your gap gets narrower as you get back. So I always like to come in and keep that bottom portion clean up. Most of you probably know sassafras because of sassafras tea. Same tree. That does come from digging out the roots. I'm not going to dig out the roots today, so no sassafras tea for us. But something else that sassafras is useful for is sassafras is really interesting wood to work with as far as trim. You can make interesting looking trim out of the grain pattern of it. It's an okay firewood. The one benefit of it from a firewood perspective is the flame that it puts off. So if you have a fireplace that you can actually look inside of, sassafras wood burns at a different color. It has kind of a purplish tint to it. So, but here's the major drawback is sassafras is really bad to pop. So if you don't have a covering over it, you'll have sparks flying out of your fireplace into your living room. So the best thing is if you have a glass cover on your stove or some kind of a glass in front of your fireplace, so that when it pops and cracks, it doesn't come out into your floor. But those are some of the benefits of sassafras outside of just tea. It is a nice wood. Starting to get into the heartwood now. Starting to see some differentiation in the colors. So I'm getting into it. Still have a hard time remembering the cameras there, but we'll get it. If I ever make it big time, maybe I'll have somebody holding the camera, or at least moving around, and maybe I can get a GoPro to put on my head. Right now you're just getting a disembodied voice, so sorry about that, but I'm going to continue to kind of work my way around here. Hopefully you can still. Yeah, let me turn you just a little bit. Given how much lean that I have this way, I'm not going to take any more off of this side. I'm kind of content with where it sits. What I do want to do now is just going to kind of continue to clean this up while I take it back. Starting to see a little bit of weakness in the center, so starting to see some soil come out. Usually an indication of some kind of insects being in the tree. Won't know the extent of it for just a little bit, but starting to get that look to it. And so kind of gross, but you see that little worm? That's something up the inside of the tree. So not all that uncommon. I kind of thought I saw a pretty good hole here. And I think there actually might be part of the worm in it. So, or larvae. So, aha. If you see that, hopefully you can. It's kind of disgusting, but that's inside the tree and causing it to start to show these signs of compromise. So another little added element of sometimes what you find in the tree here. So now we've got a really soft spot, and I would assume at this point we can probably start with our back cut and probably weak enough that probably land it. Remember, you want to do your best to keep your sides intact thing that might give us a little bit of trouble is how compromised we are in the center. So I want to get a little bit of my back cut in, but ultimately I want to try to get this thing to buckle down on the front side. So I'll clear out some of this back cut. Starting to hear a little bit of popping, so I may be getting pretty close here. If that's the case, let's try to first time for that. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to hit you. I always like to stop and just listen for a minute. Sometimes if you just keep hitting, the tree is letting go, but you're not going to hear it. So taking that moment just to stop and listen to see if anything's happening is a good practice, because we're really close. If we didn't have such a huge lean in the opposite direction, I have a feeling it would have probably already started. But again, we're working with a pretty extreme back lean. Still nothing yet, so I'll swing a few more times. I have next to nothing in this as far as a back cut. So primarily what you see from the front side is really all that's in it. So I have a feeling it does release. It's going to probably pretty quick. Right now, the main thing that is holding us is not necessarily anything in the stump itself, but the fact that we're leaning the opposite way of what we're cutting. That weight is what's holding us backwards against the, the obvious direction that the hill is facing. So that didn't go the way we wanted it to. It went backwards. So good thing is nothing was back there for it to fall. I said we had a really strong lean backwards, and we did. That's where I wanted it to go based upon just the lay, tendency of it to fall with a hillside. But it didn't do that. But it's okay. Again, you can see just what little bit of wood there was holding the tree. And so the lean got us at that time.